Hey everybody, now there's been a lot of controversy lately over the tent revival at Quaker and the Loop and the language that has been used in preaching against sin, now specifically targeting homosexuality. And the pastor, his name is Anthony Saavedra, I believe is how you say his name. Well, there was an article about him in one of the local papers Sunday, and he makes no apologies for the language that he used and the angry, hatred-sounding intent behind it. Now, I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm not a big doctrine person. I don't get hung up in a lot of legalism issues because God's had to really teach me about His grace. One thing I do know is that I do not agree at all with the way in which this pastor's message is being presented. And he makes no apologies because his church preaches against sin. Well, you know what? Yes, sin is sin, but we all sin and fall short. That's why Jesus is Jesus, because He did what we can't do in our humanity. Now, when God called me, He didn't call me by telling me all the things I did wrong and scream at me hateful, derogatory slurs related to my sin. And believe me, I've had a lot of it in my life and still have a lot of it. He said, I love you. And that is the way I'm supposed to live out my life. But I do know this pastor says he defends his language, but I know personally, God would not ever scream these slurs at anyone with such anger and hatred. He wouldn't do it. That's what mercy and compassion and forgiveness are all about. And that is who God is. And something this pastor said that kind of, gave me a moment was, when was the last time you saw a church receive this much controversy in the city of Lubbock, all because a truth was pushed? You know what? There is truth preached and talked about in this town all the time. He did it in a way that was angry and hateful, and that he knew would get him all this kind of publicity. You know, one of the verses I live by continually is, why worry about a speck in your brother's eye when you have a log in yours? And that's my thing. It's not up to me to tell anyone what they're doing wrong. I want to keep myself straight with God. And there's plenty for me to have to pray about and keep straight. Because like I said, I am a fallible human. I've told some of my friends before, if you ever experience anything loving or beautiful or kind or compassionate coming from me, that's God. If I ever hurt your feelings, if I say the wrong thing, if I do the wrong thing, oh yeah, that's me all the way. When Jesus was talking to the scribes and the Pharisees, and He said, you Pharisees and hypocrites, you're like whitewashed tombs, which are on the outside looking beautiful, but inside they're full of bones of the dead and all kinds of filth. So you also on the outside look righteous to others, but inside you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. And again, back to the hateful language that was used. In Proverbs, it says this, hatred stirs up dissension, but love covers over all wrongs. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. And above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. And I do know this from personal experience. If there's something that needs to be corrected in your life, God will let you know. And He won't do it in an angry, hateful, condemning way. That is not God.